Welcome back, everybody. Episode 7 here on the Rest of the Field. My name is Jason Gorman with Chris Weiler, Deke, and Ben Christensen. We're going to go right into episode 7 here. Something that we've been doing the last couple weeks is a new episode, or not a new episode. It's a new feature on our episodes called What's on Deke's Dome. Deke known for wearing his hats. And this week, Deke is rocking... Oh, looks like a UNLV hat, and I'll let you take it from there. What you got on your dome this week?
UNLV Running Rebels. Red. It's actually on the back. I don't want a D headphone, but it's got the little running rebel on the back. I got this hat. I'm not even sure I remember where I got it, so I have to leave that out. Reason I got it, a huge UNLV Running Rebels fan when Larry Johnson, LJ, Stacey Ogman, Greg Anthony, Anderson Hunt, Anthony Avent. They just kicked the crap out of Duke the one year. Duke got revenge, but when they kicked the crap out of Duke by like 30, it was just, I think it was only 10, but I loved it so much. It was the greatest thing ever. So
you've
that's
always
why
been a Duke-hater?
Yeah, back then, that's when I was 115% in on North Carolina. So,
Oh, really? So that the Tar Heel thing started that far back?
Probably when I was like 7 or 8.
Due to a family member, or did you like somebody on the team, or how'd that happen?
I liked the colors. That's it. And then I got into basketball more. So then it kind of just meshed together and the way it went.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right. Any other tidbits on the hat this week?
No, zero. Other than UNLV's head coach, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he is a Wisconsin native.
Not Tarkenton.
That was the coach, the legendary coach. But anybody got Google up there quick? Can look, but he's a Wisconsin native. The current UNLV head coach.
Oh.
Yeah. Current coach is a native from Wisconsin.
Well, why don't you go ahead and look that up? And while that's happening, Ben, what do you think on the UNLV hat? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Verbal would be great.
Oh, yeah, thumbs up. Isn't this a video? I suppose. This is an audio thing too, yes.
Not everybody is out there watching. Some people listen on their way to work, we've heard, so they can't be looking at their phone to know if Ben's giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But he did give a thumbs up. He does like it. Chris, what do you think?
Deke, can I see the T-shirt real quick so I can match it up with outfit? I always got to match the hat up with an outfit. Yeah, I'll give it some thumbs down. I was going to go sideways, but everything, there's no matchup. There's nothing to it. Average storyline to the hat.
This is true. There wasn't a whole lot of detail this week. We've been giving Deke a hard time not matching the hat to the rest of the outfit when he had his Bucks hat and Boston Celtics shirt on. So I guess he's got to step up his game to get Chris's approval. It may not matter much to Deke, but Chris is coming out firing.
What's his first non-approval? Last week you said my hat game was strong, so. And the coach, TJ Olsenberger.
Where did he come from?
South Dakota State Jackrabbits.
Old Jackrabbits. I'm going to give it, I'm going to go sideways thumb like Chris was talking about.
Wow.
It's a little too plain. I mean, UNLV had their past. There hasn't been much since. So in my mind, they're kind of irrelevant. And
well, yeah.
There hasn't been anything since to where it's like, oh yeah, UNLV, kind of like the Cubs were always everybody's, what did they call them? The friendly losers or.
On a darker note, I'm a little disappointed that we haven't had like some sort of conspiracy or gambling or money taken in by UNLV players. I don't condone it, trust me, but I just shocked that it's Vegas and we just haven't had one storyline that's a little juicy for,
Maybe they're just not good enough to where people have cared, even if there is a story. I mean, there may be something going on, but because they're not a headline, that may be it. So, yeah, I'm gonna go sideways.
Thanks, Ben.
No problem, buddy. I got your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got his dome. That's about it. So we're gonna take that. Let me share my screen here again so we can keep this rolling. So that was what's on Deke's Dome here in episode 7. We're going to keep it rolling right into the next segment. We're just going to recap our drafts from last week. So last midweek episode, we did a soda draft, and Ben was team 1, and Deke was team 2, Chris was team 3, and I was team 4, or I should say Fridge 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is how it turned out on our Twitter poll.
Yeah.
Deke with a shocking comeback in the last couple days. Chris brought up conspiracy, and I'll bring it up here.
Wow.
Deke does seem to be the one out of the 4 of us that really puts out the show the most on Twitter. He tags a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of you listeners have had him tag you in some fashion on one of his tweets. Deke was just barely in front of team 1 when he started sending those tweets out. Now, supposedly, he doesn't tell people which team he is, and that's why we did change it from week 1 to where we don't put the names above the team, because Deke went on and he started saying, vote for me, vote for me. Now, supposedly he's not doing that anymore, but he went from just barely in second place to very far in front, first place. So I can't prove the conspiracy that I'm bringing up here, but it was just rather shocking that that's what ended up happening. But congratulations on your soda draft victory, Deke.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, number one, I don't tell people to vote for me. First of all, I send the tweets out for the channel and for the station. It's my boss tells me I have to do it.
I appreciate it. I certainly appreciate it. We all do. We all want.
I appreciate that.
Subscribes, and it's just interesting when your votes start going up right after you do that.
And number 2, there's no way I have enough time to tell all these people to go vote for me. There's no chance.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but maybe. You have a good grid.
I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old that it's not happening.
Maybe.
Plus I'm potty training the 3-year-old right now, so we're in a 2-4 record. 2 wins and 4 losses, if you guys know what I mean.
Yep. I at least know the struggle that you're going through. We have
you don't want to clean up the 4 losses.
No, yeah, it depends on what the loss is. There's 2 different types of losses, as you can imagine, and one is a lot different than the other. But yeah, congratulations on that one. Now, what I will say, because we are starting to keep track of the wins and losses, is on this next one, which we did on the weekend, I don't think we should count this one. To be very straightforward, there weren't a whole lot of votes.
I agree.
And Ben wasn't part of it, which doesn't necessarily mean much to me. I think we should follow through with our midweek and weekend drafts regardless. But this one was, I guess, an all-time low. So a low light in our current podcasting careers in terms of the number of votes. But I think a lot of that just had to do with the holiday weekend and people getting back to work on Tuesday, and there just wasn't a whole lot of time to get in there and vote. We did do an all-time Milwaukee Brewer draft. Chris was team 1 with Robin Yount, Cecil Cooper, Foreman Thomas, Greg Vaughn, BJ Surhoff. Deke came in with Kristen Yelich, Prince Fielder, Jeff Jenkins, Riley Finkers, Jim Gantner, and then I had Paul Molitor, Ryan Braun, Ben Sheets, Jeff Cirillo, and Bob Uecker. The results of that draft were pretty underwhelming. Deke ran away with it, but again, we did. Yeah, Chris did.
Hey, you said that, Chris.
The funny thing is that, we all get on and vote as well, and sometimes we vote for our own teams. I should say the majority of the time we vote for our own teams, and Chris didn't even get on and do that. He didn't have his wife get on and do that. So I think we should throw this one out. The lack of votes was pretty surprising. Now, I would say I'm okay with you saying no, but seeing that I had a victory last week and you basically decided that I couldn't have that tie victory, that it had to go to one person, I'm pulling out my one card here to negate your win here on this.
I don't know if that's very comparable.
We can put it up to
tie.
a vote, just like you. I think Chris already said, or no, Ben already said he agreed that we shouldn't do it.
He wasn't there, so.
Well,
I would
so
agree
then
with Jason.
Chris. Okay, perfect. So no win, but congratulations on your exhibition Milwaukee Brewer all-time draft over the weekend. So when you do see these or hear about these on the podcast, check out our Twitter at @rest_field. That's where you can find the draft results to see them in this format where they're separated by team. So they're all right there, very easy to see. If you simply scroll down on that tweet, we'll have a poll right underneath it. And that's where you can vote on the team or the fridge or whatever it is that you are currently voting on for that week. You can click on the one that you like, and that'll be your vote. So we encourage everybody who is listening to get out there and what do they say? Rock the vote. Rock the vote for us. Let us know which teams you like so that we can argue about it the next show on who won and who should have won. So that wraps up our drafts. Our Twitter poll question from the last week was who will win the match 2.0 or part 2 or whatever you want to call it. Majority of people did say Tiger and Peyton, who did win, along with Deke, Chris, and myself. And because of that, Ben Christensen is buying us each a round of drinks. I do believe we said that that ended up being 3 rounds.
Well, each a drink.
Each a
So
round.
now it's 1 round?
You said drinks, plural.
You said 1 round of drinks each person was a bet. So you owe 3 rounds.
We
of
have
drinks.
And then if I would have won, okay.
If you would have won, we would have gotten you around, or well, each of us would have gotten around as well. So it would have been 3. I mean, you were going up against 3 people, and you were very confident.
Okay.
I think I reminded you at the time that it wasn't a great bet by you, but
so yeah, it wasn't a great bet, but we'll get more into the match coming up here in a different segment. But I didn't pose the poll question to you guys before this, so I'm actually interested to know what you think. I did have to come up with 4 different options, so I kind of took it upon myself to come up with those. And that poll question is, what broadcaster-athlete combo would you want to see in another match? Let's consider this a Tiger-Phil match. And then the pairings here, I tried to do a couple different sports. Tony Romo, Aaron Rodgers, both, Tony Romo plays, more than most either former athletes or even some current golfers. He plays a lot. And has he tried to get on the tour?
He's played in 2 events, I think.
Okay. But he's considered a very good golfer. Rodgers has played in a few pro-ams and is, I believe, considered a good golfer. Then you have Charles Barkley and Steph Curry, both from the basketball world. Charles Barkley was commentating on the match, and he also played the 18th hole and tried to bogey to raise some more money. He, I believe, double bogeyed. He missed his putt for bogey. Steph Curry, known to be one of the better current players that is good at golfing. And so you got that matchup there. John Smoltz and Justin Verlander. John Smoltz, Hall of Fame pitcher for the Braves and a current announcer. And then Justin Verlander, obviously a current pitcher. I simply looked that one up to see who the better golfers were in baseball, and Justin Verlander was on that list. So paired 2 pitchers together. And then lastly, Alex Rodriguez, who I don't know if he's a golfer or not. He did make a guest appearance on the match this past weekend. So I don't know if that meant he was a golfer or he just wanted to do something involved in the match for fundraising purposes. And then Mike Trout, who I think there's some Top Golf videos of him bombing one over the netting at Topgolf, but I don't know if that translates to the rest of the game, short game and putting. So let's go around the horn. Let's start with Deke. Deke, who would you like to see in this group? Are you going Homer route with Aaron Rodgers, or are you going a different route?
Complete homer. I'm going Rodgers and Romo. Romo is actually Wisconsin native from Burlington. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is the Packers quarterback. Two very solid golfers. Romo is probably a little better than Rodgers, but Rodgers could pull out some good holes and shots. So I think that would be the most exciting and intriguing for me because of the close ties to Wisconsin.
Yeah, I got you. Ben, who are you going with?
I would probably go with Charles and Steph, just from the entertainment factor that Charles brings to pretty much any broadcast that he's a part of. I also think out of this list, I think Romo and Steph are probably the two best golfers on the list. We've all seen Romo golf before in the event, so I think it would be nice to put Steph in front of that and give him a little more time on the camera.
All right, Chris, what do you think?
Smoke show. Ben stole my stuff. First off, two baseball options. I mean, you're boring America already. Nobody knows those names. People aren't going to. Nobody's tuning in to watch Johnny Smoltz versus
Nobody knows
Justin
Verlander, Mike Trout, and Alex Rodriguez.
Smoltz is really good at golf, but I agree, Chris.
They're very good golfers.
So, but that's the thing is, I had to pair it with current announcers, and I don't know what current announcers are any good at golf or broadcasters.
Yeah, I think Ben hit it right on the head. I think a Romo versus Curry matchup, maybe a little NBA, NFL matchup, would draw the most interest. I would, of course, go Homer route if I had to choose the list, Romo Rodgers, but I think Curry's a little better golfer, so I would like to see kind of that matchup and just how Brady struggled. It'd be fun to watch one of those two guys struggle because they're easy talking. I think they'd let it flow and let loose, but that would probably be my go-to right there. Romo, Curry.
I think I would go, if I was baseball, if I was the MLB, I would really push to have Trout and then maybe Smoltz on there just to get Trout some face time, because baseball's notorious for really not, marketing their best athletes the way that they should. If Trout was any good, I mean, that'd be interesting to see him be able to tee off from the whites or the blues like Peyton and Brady did, and maybe put it way out there. Whereas I believe Tiger and Phil were playing from the tips. So, yeah, it's interesting. With the combinations set by sport, I think I'd probably agree and go Charles and Steph for the entertainment value. I'd love to see Charles try to get in Steph's head during the match, because I know Steph would probably be super focused, and Charles is not that type of guy. Charles did say in the broadcast that he would be, or afterwards he said he would be open to playing if they would allow him to drink and smoke cigars while he was playing. So apparently the whole drinking and cigar smoking is carrying over from The Last Dance and right into so that's like the way that these guys just are. Apparently the guys from that late 80s and early 90s basketball. It's such a weird thing. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I just don't see that much cigar smoking anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see that.
But yeah, at the golf course,
they must have not had a very good quality medications back in the 90s.
I guess not. So we'll take it right there into our little coverage of the match. And let's Ben did tell me before you guys got on that he wasn't really able to watch a whole lot. I'm sure he's seen highlights and heard all the discussion around it. But Ben looking like he's dealing with either a dog or he's really mad at his fiance. One of the two.
No, sorry. There's a dog that's acting up here. Give me 1 second.
Hey, you're fine. So, Chris, let's start with you. What'd you think of the match?
I loved it. I needed it, and I want more of it. I'll say that. Like, kind compared to the match one, or actually you wouldn't call it match one, but last week's matchup with Dustin Johnson and Rory and etc. Very unentertaining. Barely know who was winning the match. Watching it like live, it was just more or less you were watching a live broadcast and they were just walking behind them showing it. This year you got to see a lot more of the character. Phil is next level as far as being, over the top, but he'd be fun to be around. So I enjoyed it. I would love to see more of it. It was awesome. So
are you a Phil fan?
I wasn't growing up, but like the last 3 or 4 years, watching all of his individual like social media videos and stuff, like he's just a goofy guy, and he just, I don't know. We know a lot of guys like him. They just don't necessarily shut up all the time and whatever. But
Right.
he's a great character for golf, and I think he's great for like kind of the younger guys and just keeping it real. So yeah, he's changed me a little bit. I'd say I'm more of a Phil guy, but not a Phil guy. No.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're still a Tiger guy over, if you
Absolutely.
had to pick one of the, okay, Tiger over
Yeah,
Phil, but you still don't mind Phil.
I enjoy Phil now compared to being like annoyed by Phil before.
Right. Okay. So Deke, what did you think of the match?
I thought it was awesome. I think it was just the part to me was it was relatable, and so you have guys out there that are shanking shots, and that's what you do as the average Joe golfer. So I thought that was neat. You got to hear all the commentary, like Chris said. So again, that was relatable. The guys were talking smack back and forth. Peyton Manning, especially to Brady, was pretty funny, talking smack about Nick Foles and his brother Eli. And if he brought them around the course, he would just, crumble and cripple to the ground, things like that. So that was pretty cool. I also thought it was neat that you do have guys like Brady and Manning who are so great at their craft of football, and they step on a different person's craft or sport, and they're average. And I thought that was just kind of refreshing and neat to see. So I want more of it, like Chris said, and if the guys do play well, it's even exciting because you're like, wow, these guys aren't supposed to be this good, but they're playing really well. Like Peyton Manning, I think Peyton Manning was pretty good. He wasn't a pro level, but I was like, man, Peyton Manning is good, and Brady wasn't as good. But again, that was neat because it was relatable. So
yeah, and so while we're on that, I had been tweeting out some stuff, and Ben, if you don't mind muting yours, we get a little bit of feedback, and your mic picks up a whole heck of a lot of stuff. Your mouse clicks sound like they're literally in my ear. I don't know if you guys get the same thing. Hey guys, I want to show this. This was kind of the highlight of the match, and this was Brady. I mean, and he is at this current time, he's getting heckled by Barkley, and he hasn't hit a single good shot. He's duffed a couple right in front of him. He's shanked left and right. Nothing was good. I can't imagine how hard it was for him not to be cursing after every shot. And what was funny is Brian Anderson, the main host of this, he said, maybe it was the other guy. Was it Immelman? Trevor Immelman? But right when Barkley said something to Brady, he said, you don't want to make him mad. And it was, this was the shot right after. And I'm sure you've all seen it, but just in case you didn't, takes the shot, Mike falls off even, and isn't that not going to play? Is it playing on your end? There it goes.
I caught up here.
Yep. Little back to the side spin on it, drills it. I forget how far out he was. I believe he said, "Suck on that, Chuck," after he drilled that shot. Had to take a lot of pressure off. It was a pretty remarkable moment. Of course, for me, I had just gone on to Bovada and placed a bet for Tiger and Peyton to win that hole. And I was like, oh, they're winning all these holes. I'll take my, a buck win or whatever it was. It wasn't a whole lot that you won on it, but I placed that bet and immediately lost when he drilled that shot. Actually, you know what? I didn't, because Tiger had a chance to actually win that hole. Even after Brady drilled the shot, Tiger had a putt for eagle and just barely missed it. And I believe his tap in tied the hole. And yeah, so I still lost the bet. I did not lose it to Brady. I lost it to the fact that Tiger and them did not pull out the victory on that. I just wanted to pull that up for anybody who hadn't seen it and get your guys' thoughts. Ben, what do you think of that shot? Did you have any shots like that this weekend as you were playing at Pinehurst?
No, not even close. I did not play that well. No, but it was fun. Pinehurst in itself it's a great place to go. I think there's something like 40 courses within a 20-mile radius of the main Pinehurst area there. So
you guys are playing the main one?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You guys are playing the main course?
We played the main course, yeah. So number 2 is the main tour course that they've done all the U.S. Opens and things like that on. There's a few other courses. I want to say there's 5 or 6 that are at that main area. A few others are spread out that are all still, labeled as Pinehurst number whatever. And then obviously there's other municipal courses and things like that around in that area. So.
Okay, so I did see on social media that some Barstool golf guys were actually there, maybe Sunday into Monday. And they were podcasting in their room, and they were going out on the course. They were playing with a pro. They were trying to beat a pro. Did you by chance see those guys? Do you know who those guys are?
We saw one of the guys. I forgot what his name was. He pulled up in a cart to the hotel we were staying up late at night, and some kids got out and got a picture with him. We also saw Harold Varner for like a quick second the first day we were there playing one of the courses. So that was really about the only interaction we had with,
and explain to everybody who that is in case
Harold Varner the third.
Yeah.
He's a professional golfer. He's on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, not exactly a household name for anybody who's not in the golf world like you are, watching golf replays from years past. Which is
who is the course designer? What was the elevation? Can you get all that for us, Ben?
So course number 2 is a Donald Ross designed course. I want to say it was 1895 is when that one originally opened. Okay. Very nice course. Not a whole lot of elevation changes. There's a few holes with up and down, but the main thing that he does is the turtleback greens. So the greens are very, very difficult. They're very fast. There were so many times, if you're not in the right spot when you land there, it's coming off the green. I think everyone has a false front. So that's his big signature.
So Ben, let me ask you a few questions. I want to wrap up this part and then the match as well. But let me ask you a few questions about your round. How many rounds did you guys play?
We played 5 or 6 rounds total. One of them got rained out. We had scheduled for 2 rounds every day. So it was supposed to be 6 rounds. One of them got rained out halfway through.
What was your best round?
I want to say it was like a 92.
Okay, so you broke 100.
Yep.
Bad.
Yep.
Who shot the best and what did they shoot?
I think Dan had the best round, and he actually shot his best round, I want to say, on number 2, which is, he had a couple birdie shots. I want to say he was at like a 90 or an 85 or an 86.
Not bad.
But no, he had a nice.
Did you guys play the whites? Did you go back and play the tips to get the full experience?
No, we decided to put our egos on check and just play the whites, which we heard from a few people. A couple of courses you have to have caddies on. A couple of them were very happy that we did that because they said there's plenty of people who come out there and should be playing from the whites, and they go to the blues and it just changes everything.
Okay, last 2 questions. What was your best shot on the entire weekend? Explain the shot and the outcome.
The best shot I had, it was probably a putt.
Just a putt. You didn't pipe a drive or
no.
Bring a nice approach shot in within 5 feet or something like that?
No, there were not. I mean, there were a couple that were okay, but they didn't really rise above where some of the other guys had shots at.
No, not the best shot of the weekend.
No,
Just
I know.
your
I know.
personal best.
My best shots were probably my drives. I actually did a decent job of hitting the fairway. So it was the second shot that was killing me all week. But
Nothing spectacular to write home about.
Nope, exactly.
Okay. And last question, what was your worst shot? Describe it to us.
It's pretty easy when you top it off the tee and it rolls about 20 feet right into a pond that happens to be the only water on the course. I would say that's probably the worst shot of the week.
All right.
Yeah, I'm very
there
happy
a gallery
with
for that shot?
There
that
was.
On 10? Yeah, I figured that was on 10 or 1, wasn't it?
No, actually, so the way the courses are set up there, you don't go back to the clubhouse. Everything is kind of off on its own. So it just happened to be a hole where we had just finished a par 3. There was another group that was on the green putting on the par 3. So that's what I mean by gallery, is that there was just other people around us.
It's a lonely feeling.
Is.
We've all been there.
Yep, it's terrible.
Golf is one of the most humbling sports that even when you're good, and we see it on the PGA Tour, those guys will pull out a shot that we're like, wait a second, I do that. I blade it across the green. I shank it into the woods. Now they're trying to do some different things than just simply hit it straight. But that was one of the most interesting things to me while watching the match, to kind of wrap this up, was, even Phil and Peyton and Brady, the number one tee, one guy was in the fairway and the other 3 weren't even on grass. They weren't in the rough. I don't know. There was times where I was shocked that they found balls. Now they did have people helping them. Brady lost one that should have been in somebody's yard that apparently showed up and had an angle to come back into play. And even Tiger was shocked that they found that one. Anybody else between Deke and Chris, I guess, do you guys have any last thoughts on the match?
No, Brady was a prime example of what you were just talking about. I mean, we were all texting as a group how, relatable it was, how kind of funny it was, just that he was struggling. Like, please just hit one shot and then, makes the incredible shot. Like, we'd all live for that moment, and that makes your whole day. So I thought that was the coolest aspect. Yeah, it brings you back. Yeah.
It's just
now,
like,
you have
it's just
a
like
talking
gambling.
point.
It's just like going to a casino, you get that one win and then you come back because you think, I can replicate that one win. I can replicate that one shot. And then it just keeps beating you down. Deke, what do you think? Kind of closing thoughts on the match?
My closing thoughts are Peyton Manning is great. That guy, he's funny. When he was playing football through those years when he was trying to strive to be the greatest football player, I thought he was kind of stale and, kind of a nerdy type of guy. And he's still kind of a nerd, but he is so funny and he's great.
Yeah.
I could give me Peyton Manning all day. That's my final thoughts on that.
I like it because I'm right there with you. He's got that quick sense or that quick wit about him, and he doesn't mind taking it and he can throw it back. And part of it's the fact that he does look the way he does. I think if it was coming out of Brady's mouth, you'd just kind of probably think he was an asshole. And when it comes out of Peyton's mouth, especially with his Southern accent too, it's just funny no matter what. He's always funny to listen to on or off the golf course, in or out of a broadcast booth. Peyton's he really showed everybody that he is the personality that was in his commercials during his career.
Yeah.
One quick thing, I want to shout out for Justin Thomas. Awesome job on the commentary. I don't know if you guys saw the one clip. I thought I sent it to our group, but when he was making fun of Chuck, he called him a fat ass. Like, I want to see your fat ass. Go and dunk a ball right now. And I'm sure he wasn't supposed to say that, but he was good. So he had a lot of little elements in there for.
I agree.
Yep, he was good. And you know what? And I'll leave it at this because we could go on and on, but we didn't even touch on the fact that right after Tom hit his immaculate shot, he went to go take the ball out of the hole and he split his pants right down the butt crack. Couldn't. Yeah. Of all the people that it happens to, it's the guy who's in the best shape out there and his pants split open. Not not a good calling card for Under Armour in the process. But still a funny moment. He had to wear, it didn't matter. He probably would have worn rain pants the rest of the day anyway because it was raining. But he had to put his baggy rain pants on over his split pants. So with that was the match. Hopefully they do some more stuff like that. But I think the tour is coming back in June. So I don't know that there'll be another opportunity at least this year. Maybe they'll do something around Thanksgiving like the first match between Tiger and Phil when that happened. So brings us to another recurring segment that we've been having lately, and it's what else are you watching? So we're done with The Last Dance. The match is come and gone. So Ben, what are you watching? I think our last update from you, it was Grey's Anatomy, and I can't remember what else you were watching. So what else are you watching, Ben?
Back to the Future was last week.
Oh yes, yep.
And so I was on movies. Yep. This week lately, it's been watching old episodes of Monk, the old detective show with Tony Shalhoub. So
is that something you watched and are now rewatching, or you're just getting it for the first time?
Yep, I watched them when they were on. I think it was USA Network, long time, late 2000s. But just a nice, entertaining show. But a germaphobe kind of guy who is one of the best detectives out there. I find him quirky and funny. So.
And that is on Netflix?
Amazon has that.
Amazon. Okay. Amazon Prime Video or whatever they officially call it. Chris, what are you watching? Gosh, I'm trying to remember everybody's.
We finished up Working Moms and Veep last week. So both of them finalized for us. We got to wait till next season. So we started season 10 of Shameless on Showtime. Almost all the way through that as well. Kind of a crazy show if you've ever watched it. Never ending, frank. But yeah, it's a good show overall.
Shameless, and that takes place in Chicago. Do they film it in Chicago?
I do, yeah. South Side. I mean, I'm not sure exactly where on the South Side they actually film it, but definitely.
Right. Yeah, because that's, being around Atlanta, a lot of stuff is shot down here. Like a lot of food shows come here. And it's interesting because you see places and you're like, oh, I know where that is, or I've been there, or whatever. So you don't get any of that because of where it's filmed in Chicago?
Not at all. No, it's not an area I usually venture towards, and I would recommend any viewers probably not go that direction as well.
And I think that's kind of part of the show in itself is that they're not in the best area. It's low income and a lot of things happen.
Not much aid for them. Very, very tough areas.
Yeah. They make it however they can make it, and that's the show in a nutshell. Is they're just trying to get by and trying to make a buck. So Shameless, that's on Showtime. I have watched quite a bit of that myself, so I would recommend it too. So Deke, what are you watching?
I am watching a show called All American, and it's sort of funny. Yeah, Netflix. It's about a football player that went from Crenshaw to Beverly Hills, and there's a lot of different dynamics. It's odd because I was watching Outer Banks at one point too, and that's sort of like a high school, like teeny bopper show. And this show is sort of about that too, because all the kids are in high school. But again, it's so odd because to me, there's no chance that these kids are actually in high school. But again, I grew up in a small town in northern Wisconsin, so I guess it's very possible that kids appear to be looking like they're 28 and in prime shape when they're in high school. But so it caught my attention. It's got me wondering what is going to happen. So I keep watching them. About 10 episodes in the first season. There's 2 seasons. So it's about a football player and kids in Beverly Hills High School versus kids that grew up in Crenshaw. So it's an interesting dynamic.
And you would recommend it? Or maybe wait to see?
I honestly don't know if I would completely recommend it. It's just I saw it. I'm like, let me click on it and see. And then the football aspect.
10 episodes in.
Yeah, the football aspect drew me in. And then every time I do watch an episode, though, the episode's over, and I'm like, man, I'm watching these high school kids, But The football keeps bringing me back.
You're such a creepy old man.
Well, there's no sports on, so I got to get something to get me fired up.
Fair
But
enough.
it's fun. They do have the pep band. They do have the football guys get you jacked up.
Yeah, that's for sure. I would always watch the Last Chance U. I always enjoyed watching those. The behind the scenes look at some high schools, or not high schools. They were they junior colleges? Yeah, I think they were considered junior colleges, and that's just crazy. And the coaches and the players and the stuff they all dealt with. But I'm currently watching, as you know from the last few episodes our last few episodes, that I'm still watching Great British Bake Off or Baking Contest, whatever it's called. I'm in the last season, so I'm about 2 or 3 episodes in, so there's probably 6 or 7 left. I had a bit of a love interest the season before. Yeah. Oh, Ruby.
New Jersey chasing bakers.
Yeah, I was. Ruby had my eye. My wife knew about it. My wife makes fun of me still. She didn't win. She was runner up. Not to spoil it for anybody, but I'll be sad to see that go. But my wife and I are also watching The Great, which is on Hulu, and I don't remember if I talked about that last week or not, but it's a really outlandish comedy, which I didn't think it was a comedy. I thought it was an old-timey piece on Catherine the Great, but it is not. It is very loosely based on Catherine the Great, and it is a very raunchy comedy. So if you're into that, certainly check it out. Viewer discretion advised. And then I also just started 11/22/63, I believe it's called, which is a James Franco series, and it is a bit of a time travel show where there's a sort of like a rabbit hole that you can go through, and then you're back in another time, and you're back in 1960, and it's all about him trying to stop the assassination of JFK. So I'm only a couple episodes in, so I can't really talk about it too much. It seems to be pretty decent. James Franco is a pretty good actor, and the concept is interesting. Basically he's trying to track down, what is it, Lee Harvey Oswald? Is that the guy's name? Yeah. He's trying to track him down to see if he is in fact the guy who, if they want to try to kill him before he kills JFK, but they have to make sure they know that he is for sure about to do this. So more to come on that. But
what is this called? I'm into those. What is this like? What is that? 11/22/63.
Yeah, 11/22/63. It's on Hulu.
I'm out. Dang it.
Hulu's pretty cheap. I think you can get.
You don't have Disney? Disney Plus?
I do have Disney. I do have Disney Plus for the.
Then that has Hulu and ESPN, so you're signed into both. It's a package.
Oh, I guess
really?
Yeah, it's $12.99. Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN.
I have Disney Plus because we have Verizon, so we got the free year for Verizon people. So I didn't even look into.
That down.
Yeah.
We'll refer you later for the $1.99 that we get back.
Yeah. Credit on our account.
I didn't know that.
I
did not know that. Thanks.
We got that. It's a great deal.
Anytime, Deke. Anytime. But that's why we do this segment, is not only to inform each other what we're watching and what we should check out, but also that, if you guys want to check out the shows that we mention, or if you have some shows that you think we should watch, let us know. Find us on Twitter @rest_field, on Instagram, the rest of the field. Let us know what you're watching. Let us know what we should be watching. If you like or don't like what we recommend, we want to hear it all. But that is our What Else Are You Watching segment, and that takes us right into this week's draft, which is an all-time rapper draft, which is weird to say, like, I don't know, rapper draft, but hip-hop draft.
Like Starburst rappers?
Yes, Starburst rappers, Tootsie Pop rappers with the little Indian with the star on them. He had to find
Mhm.
those for whatever reason. We are going to do. I mean, we're just going to draft rappers. I don't believe. I guess we can put it out to the group. Are we doing groups? We're just doing individual rappers. What do you guys want to do there?
Just
say just
individuals, I would say.
MCs.
I heard one of those to say individuals. Deke, did you say the same thing?
Yeah, just MCs.
Okay. So original MCs. I don't know. I don't feel right saying that, but the
Sounded right.
random. Yeah, the random order this week is going to be me, then Deke, Chris, and then Ben. Typical snake draft, doing 4 rounds. So we'll get right into it. It's really kind of tough to have the first pick. I don't really like it because I know there's certain people that I want, but I certainly don't think that they're going to last the 6 picks that come after me and be there for me at 8 and 9. However, I don't necessarily think that drafting them number 1, like it feels weird to draft somebody 1 and you don't necessarily feel that they're the best rapper. It's just, I don't know that I necessarily need them on my team. Let me stop sharing my screen here so I can edit the draft board as we go along. So I think I'm going to go that route. I'm going to go with Eminem as the number 1. I want him on my squad. He's somebody that I guess more, not recently, but some of the later half of his stuff when he was maybe not as goofy, I guess, I really liked. Still, I think he's still one of the all-time greats. I think he's probably considered amongst the all-time greats, if depending on who you ask. So that's the route that I'm going to go with the number 1 pick. And that takes us to Deke with the number 2 pick. So Deke, where are you going to go?
Good pick there, Jason. B Rabbit. The nice thing too is if you weren't sure about your pick, if we don't get enough votes, we just cancel out the draft. So that's great. So the number 2 pick.
Love it.
I'm going with I think probably also the greatest movie star rapper and greatest rapper in my eyes of all time, Tupac Shakur.
Now you say movie star rapper. I'm not familiar with a bunch
Poetic
of
Justice, Above the Rim. Very good in those 2 movies.
Okay.
Was his name Boys from the Hood too?
Boys in the Hood.
Boys from the Hood, something like that. Boys in the Hood, or no? Was that Ice Cube?
Juice.
From it, around it. All right. I mean, that was honestly, if I wouldn't have taken Eminem, I probably would have went Tupac. So, were you happy that he was there, or were you going to go a different route?
Oh no, I was happy he was there. I thought he was going 1.
Yeah.
So I did have a backup in mind, but I'm glad I got him.
All right, Chris, where are you going? Number 3 pick.
I had no idea where you guys were actually going to go with this. Like, that kind of falls into place. Like, I had 3 people, so those 2 are gone. So we are going, no, Notorious Biggie.
Yep.
All right, Notorious B.I.G. Great pick. I think, to be honest, Eminem was probably 3 on my, if I was ranking them, but in terms of a draft where I wanted to have Eminem, I had to jump my list of Tupac and Biggie to get Eminem. So I think I guess I gifted you guys.
Eminem is really good, but he is actually not in my top 5. I mean, I could see why he would be in a top 10, but he just wasn't in mine. But
yeah, and the other part of it was I didn't want to seem super white by doing a rapper draft, taking the white guy first. But it came down to like, I didn't listen to Tupac and Biggie as much as certainly Deke did. But I mean, it was the person I listened to the most that I think is the best out of the people I listened to. So that's the route I went. That leads us to Ben at number 4, his first pick. Ben, give me 1 pick and then we'll show the board.
The Snoop D.O. Double Jeezy will be my first pick.
Okay. I typed Snoopy, but we're gonna put Snoop Dogg with the 2 G's, correct?
Yes.
The D-O-double-G.
D-O-double-G.
Yeah. So I didn't do this very well. I believe it was the Brewer draft, sharing my screen so that everybody could see it. But that's how we went. First round, Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, and Snoop Dogg. So Ben's going to lead us back with the 5th pick, and then I will end the second round with the 8th pick. Ben, where are you going with that first pick in the second round?
I'm going to reach a little bit here, but that's because I don't think, like you did with your first pick, I don't think he's going to make it back around. So I'm going to reach for my man 50 Cent. It's hot. Disco Inferno.
That's a gadget arm. You have go-go gadget arms on that reach.
That's all right.
I love when you reach, Ben.
It's good with me. You like to reach around.
No, that's not where I was going. That's not where I was going. I was going for draft W's, but.
Oh goodness! To be honest, he might actually get votes there because I don't know how many people are going to be looking at this like, oh, I think he's a better rapper than that guy. I think people may look at it like, oh, I know a lot of songs from 50, right? From 50 Cent and everything that he did, that they just may be more familiar with his music than they are. Like for me, I'm not as familiar with Tupac and Biggie. I know they're considered good rappers, but I listen to every one of 50's albums. And so I know a lot about him. I know a lot about Eminem. And so I don't know that it's that much of it's a reach, but it depends on how you're looking at it. If you enjoy their music or like if you're really just ranking them as lyrics, things like that. That's all I'll say. But I don't know if Deke is like ready for he just wants Chris's pick, or if he has things.
I need Chris's pick because I'm ready.
I think this is a fine choice. You don't think it's going to come back around. I mean, he's got to wait 8 picks.
Yeah.
So you take kind of who you like. I mean, Deke saying Eminem's not in his top 5 hurts me a little bit, but it's just a personal preference. So is what it is. But top 5 rappers, he's got to be listed. I mean, just next level. So we're going next pick. I like the reach. I want to kind of reach myself, but I have to stick in stride here and go with Dr. Dre.
Yes. Ooh. Talking about.
Nobody can beat the album Chronicle. Absolutely awesome.
Dr. Dre, I mean, as a rapper and a producer, one of the all-time best. I think it'll be hard. Well, we'll see what comes in the last round, but I think these first 3 rounds will be a lot of heavy hitters. So a good pick there with Dr. Dre. So Deke, that left it open for the guy that you wanted, and that is.
I want him. That is Young Hove, the Jigga Man, Sean Carter, Jay-Z. The Rock, baby.
He has a few names that he goes by. I don't think that's a bad choice either. I was actually hoping maybe he would fall to me there. I am realizing I don't have my list up and available to me for the rappers that I was looking at, but so Deke got Jay-Z. That's going to. All right, so that's going to. I think I know the route that I want to go at least for one of them, so I'll put him up now, and that route is going to be Drake. I'm going to put Drake out there. I'm not actually even a huge Drake fan. I just think popularity currently may really help there. Did somebody groan like I took one away?
I wanted Drake.
That was Matzik.
Okay.
Again, wanted to reach around. He wanted him.
So you wanted Drake, but you didn't think it was worth. You wanted Jay-Z more than Drake.
Yeah. I like Jay-Z. I just like his music better, but I think Drake is a great pick for this draft.
Yeah, I'm with you there in the sense that I like old hip hop better, or it's weird to call it old because it's just what we grew up with, but I just don't really like new hip hop all that much. I don't like all the mumbling and the lack of sense that I mean goes into a lot of these songs. So I'll go with Drake there. Let me show the board here so that everybody can see how round 2 went and how we're stacking up here. There's the board as it stands. So Eminem, Tupac, Notorious B.I.G, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, and I just took Drake to end the second round. I'm about to start the third round with the 9th pick. And with that pick, I'm going to go, I guess, right up there with Eminem as my personal favorites. I am going to go with Lil Wayne.
Sounds like you're getting that reach around right now.
Dang it.
Oh, goodness. I don't even know if I can put those cuts on Instagram. So, Deke, did I just take away what would have been your 2 options for your third pick, the number 10 pick overall?
Yes, you did.
Right. So
I have to recalibrate.
Yeah, recalibrate. Do it. My team's stacking up with Eminem, Drake, and Lil Wayne. I'm actually really happy about how that worked out. Three names that are mostly current, and that I think a lot of our listeners will remember and have listened to a lot of their music. So if they're hip hop people, I guess. So Deke, did that give you enough time to calibrate your third pick?
Not really. I need somebody new on my team.
Ooh, Deke,
This can't be like a nursing home team here of rappers. So I'm
What
gonna
names are you
go.
thinking of? You only have
I'm
2
gonna go.
picks left.
I'm gonna go Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, I know it. You guys suck. That's the only option. I don't even know what took you so long.
Well, there's plenty of options. It's just that people, I think they
He's
might
the
not be
most
living.
recognizable, I would say, as far as music right now.
I feel like he came out like he had a moment, and I feel like that's really petered off lately. To where, and maybe he's working on new music. I don't know. I don't listen to hip hop currently. I'm a country guy, so maybe he's all over the radio stations. But I don't know. I feel like I heard a lot more about him before, and I feel like it's a lot of, I don't know, a lot of different guys, weird names. So Chris, he obviously took that one from you. So where are you going? 11th pick, your third overall.
Yeah, it's tough. My last 4 I've literally crossed out since I've gone. And that was it. I was gonna pull a string at the last pick, but I might even have to go early here. Oh man. All right, we're gonna go with a homer pick. We'll go Nelly just because I know it's votes.
Nelly.
You know, and I let the thought creep into my head. I was like, you know what? I bet he might come back around. I was like, if it gets past Ben on the turn, Nelly might come all the way back to me. But he didn't even get to Ben. So that is super
I
disappointing.
need some freshness in my lineup, and he's gonna help that.
It's going
Nelly
down, baby.
Nelly was my very first concert, like my pay for a ticket, go to a concert. And I actually went to see him at the university that I ended up going to later for college. So it was my freshman year in high school. Went to see Nelly at Winona State. He played in the gym where I ended up coaching basketball. Really weird. I was a huge Nelly fan, but all the tie-ins to what I did later in life is pretty odd that I spent a good 10 years in the city of Winona, Minnesota. So Nelly is near and dear to me, and he is now on Chris's squad. So that's a bummer. But that'll take us to Ben to round out his squad with his super hot Mike. So seriously though, for Chris and Deke, do you guys hear Ben as loud as I do? Like goodness. Ben, I think Ben almost snorted me through my headphones into his. My God, he comes in hot.
Maybe he got to reach around.
I'm trying to mute him.
Ben, you have 2 picks. Give me one to end the 3rd round, and I'll show the draft board to everybody.
Ludicrous.
Luda.
Bit of a homer
should be a
pick
guy's
for-
boy.
Yeah. So in that sense, Ben should really follow that pick up with Jermaine Dupri, or I think T.I. is considered an Atlanta guy, right?
T.I.
T.I. is definitely.
Ben and I went
ATL.
to Ben. Who was performing at halftime when we went to the Hawks-Bucks game? That was a big deal too. Is that 2 Chainz or something?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I think it was 2 Chainz. He was sitting courtside right at half court, him and his buddy or his entourage or whatever, and you could tell it was a big deal for everybody that was there watching and knew who he was. We had no idea he was performing at halftime, and there he was. So Ben going with Ludacris, his current hometown hero. So he did go with a homer pick. Chris didn't actually go with a homer pick with Nelly. He just stole him from me. Ben, would you have picked Nelly with either of these 2 picks had he not gone?
He was in the list of my 3 that I was hoping we're gonna get to me after Deke's pick. So
it's pretty obvious where you're going to go then with your last pick, the 13th pick overall.
yes, Mr. DMX is my last pick.
Oh, I let out some dog barks. Yeah, Ben with his 2 Pitbull mixes, picking DMX. Very fitting pick for Ben. It doesn't really fit in with the rest of us, the 3 of us and our pets that we have. Ben has the most fitting pets to be taking DMX.
They're also the most scared pit bulls I think I've ever seen of people.
Maybe DMX was really scared, and that's why he had to have that persona. I mean, maybe. I don't
It's possible.
So. Yeah.
Until you look him in the eye.
Yeah.
Oh.
Telephone.
DMX
Chris,
Still have a house phone?
yeah, Deke's got a landline there apparently.
Gotta remember, still not my house.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Chris, we're looking for your last pick, the 14th pick overall. Ben finished out his team. He ended up with Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Ludacris, and DMX. Pretty solid squad there. Chris currently with Notorious B.I.G, Biggie, Dr. Dre, Nelly, and he's going to round it out with.
I'm going to throw a curveball at you. I have a lot of good ones. Like, I love Ice Cube, T.I., Twista, Rick Ross, right? Definitely enjoy all those guys.
Rose.
But to get some votes and to throw this off a little bit, we are going to go with Nicki Minaj.
Are you kidding me right now? You gotta get the lady votes. That's pure steal.
That's so sweet.
I am not happy. I mean, I am. I love the pick. She's great.
You still have the best female rapper out there yet, Deke.
Oh, Ben, who's that?
I'm not going to say. I'm going to let him do his pick, and then if he gets her, then we can talk about it. Not that it matters for me.
It doesn't matter for anybody.
I guess I disagree because I think Nicki's the best female rapper. I mean, knowing you, Ben, you're probably going Queen Latifah or something like that.
Latifah. No.
Ben, who is it? Who
Missy Elliott would have been my female pick for the best rapper.
Okay, not
She's
bad.
good, yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah,
I always liked Lil' Kim. I always really enjoyed Lil' Kim.
And why was that?
I liked I liked her delivery, Ben. Get your mind out of the gutter, Mr. Reach Around.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
asking.
I actually liked how she delivered her lyrics when she had her songs or her parts in songs, I guess. So, all right. So Deke, another one stolen out from underneath you, or were you just mad that he was going after the female vote?
No, I
You
mean,
were not taking Nicki.
that was my next pick, Nicki Minaj, because I felt I needed to get a female rapper in there, and they're coming on the come up. These female rappers are coming, and she's the best one of all time, and I thought it'd be great for the draft. Chris is a slick move. It's just a slick move.
Thank you.
He
I
gets
appreciate
Drake,
that.
Lil Wayne, and Nicki Minaj all swiped from him. So Deke, what is it going to be then with the 15th pick? Your last pick.
Yeah, I'm not sure here.
Do
I gotta
what
do-
Pat would do. Let me just say that, Deke.
Oh, I know where you're going there.
Well, let us all know where are you going. I mean, Ben, what are you getting at?
Too
I don't
Short
know.
is like Pat's favorite rapper
Too
of all
Short.
time.
Okay. You don't have to be so coy. Everybody
Sorry.
wants to know what you're talking about, what you're getting at.
So I want to get a female on my team. To think they're so important in the rap game. So I got to go Cardi B.
Okay.
Of course.
You don't think Cardi B is as good as Nicki Minaj?
I actually do think she's as good, but Nicki was the original. She was like Cardi B is basically Nicki Minaj 2.0.
Gotcha.
And Chris
Fair
has got 1.0, and that's what you need. You need the 1.0.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting because once Deke starts tagging everybody in his tweets and his votes start to rise, he'll probably try to claim that it's because he has a female rapper on his team and he's getting all these female votes. But I highly doubt that. Maybe, he says he doesn't have the time. Maybe his wife and she's getting all of her friends, hey, go vote for my husband. He's team whatever. So Deke's not actually doing it. He's right. He's not lying. He just has other people work. He's got other people working for him.
No, in between me tweeting and the reach arounds, I'm cleaning poop out of my son's shorts, so it's not what I'm doing.
The conspiracy
Figure out work
grows.
about that.
Yeah, the conspiracy grows. So Deke rounds out his squad. He's got Tupac, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, and Cardi B. That leaves it up to me with the last pick, number 16 overall. I didn't actually get my list to load up in my garage here, so kind of left in the dark as to who to pick. I'm thinking of, maybe Ice Cube. I was a Method Man fan. I really liked how Method Man delivered. I think. Ooh, okay. So here's what it is, and I'm gonna throw it out to you guys. Is these are my two that I'm thinking of because these are two guys that I really like. One of them is Busta Rhymes, one of the all-time fast delivering rappers. Maybe not considered a great rapper in the whole scheme of it, but in terms of delivery, he was fun to listen to. And actually, the exact same reasoning for the other guy, different type of delivery, would be Mystical. I was always a Mystical fan. So that's what I'm torn between right now. Let me get a quick straw poll from you guys. Just give me, not who I should pick. Who do you guys like more between those two, Busta Rhymes or Mystical?
Busta.
Yeah, Busta's higher on my list.
Interesting.
Like,
I really like Mystical, bumping me against the wall. I'm going to go Busta Rhymes, too. That was the first one that I thought of, and as soon as I thought of Busta Rhymes, I thought of Mystical. So that's the route that I'm going to go. Let me spell rhymes right. Busta Rhymes.
no relation to Leanne Rhymes.
At least so we think. I mean, it might be a very distant relation there. So that's the board. You guys can see that this time. I didn't get it up the last time we recorded. Yes? No?
Yeah, we got it. It's up.
Okay, cool. So that's how I rounded out. I went Eminem, Drake, Lil Wayne, Busta Rhymes. I love my squad. I think I have the upper leg in terms of name notoriety. There's no explanation needed. I didn't have to try to stoop so low as to pick females only to try to get a female vote. Ben's got a good squad as well. I think had Chris, I don't know. I think had Chris gone a different route than Nicki Minaj, I would have liked his team better, personally. I think he's got 3 good ones, and then Nicki Minaj just doesn't do it for me. Neither does Cardi B. I think you could have voters that think they're annoying. It's all going to depend on personal preference, like it always does. So I don't
none
know.
of my fans are going to want to vote for Drake. All Bucks fans. We don't cross the border and vote for Toronto people. So.
Is there a rapper associated with the Bucks?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No.
No, there is, but I can't remember his name. I gotta look it up now.
He's not like a big time.
No, he is.
Oh. Yeah, but you say that, but I also have Lil Wayne, who is an avid Packer fan. So
yeah, that helps. That does help.
Lil Wayne, he's been at playoff games. He's got the green and gold song that he remixed for the Packers. So yeah, I might lose some votes to Drake, but I may be getting them back to Wayne.
So the Bucks is Gucci Mane, and he got into some actually rap battles with Drake when the Eastern Conference Finals was going on. So that was pretty great.
Well, it sounds
I'll
like
take that as a Bucks fan.
We may be looking. Yeah. So do you want to switch out Nicki Minaj for Gucci Mane?
I do not, but.
Oh. Okay. So
like
I'm going to lose votes to Bucks fans because of Drake, but you are not willing to take the Bucks rapper.
I can't go back and change that pick. I wasn't witty enough at the time. We're going to stick with Minaj.
Jason does have Lil Wayne, though. I think you just said that, right?
Yeah, pretty much a whole minute on the fact that he's a Packer fan.
I was trying to find Gucci Mane.
Fair enough. You really tuned it out. I like it.
Focus.
Yeah. So how's everybody feeling about their squads? I know I kind of tore everybody's apart, but I just really like mine.
My squad's okay.
Any front runners in your eyes, D? You're the
biggest
biggest hip hop guy, I think, for us.
Yeah, probably. I would say the front runner for me would be probably Ben's team.
Now, are you talking about front runner for getting votes or front runner for what you like?
As a group of 4, if I had to say, hey, I'm driving 5 hours, you get to take these 4 CDs. We had those back in the day. For all the kids out there, we had CDs. I would probably pick Ben's team.
Okay,
so that
fair enough.
That's a criteria, I guess. But I'm surprised. I want to throw out Kanye West did not get picked.
Right.
Ice Cube did not get picked. Chris mentioned him. Also, Nas did not get picked. Those are
Andre 3000. I thought was always really good.
Yeah.
Andre. Yeah.
Chance the Rapper. I thought someone might try to take him for like a more recent guy.
Yeah. See, that was Chance the Rapper was one that he's like in that Kendrick Lamar. Like you hear a lot about him. I don't really know his music. P Diddy. Not that he was a great rapper, but he touched a lot of the rap game in certain ways. So he was out there. Obviously I mentioned Ice Cube was in the running for my last pick. I just ended up going with Busta. Yeah, that's where you're starting to get into definitely the older hip hop where you really had to have listened to it, going way back. So you could have gone with like Run DMC. Well, you couldn't do them as a group though. So
LL Cool J.
Method Man was one that I liked. Also didn't pick him. Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch out there. Too Short, apparently. But it was a fun draft. This is our all-time rapper draft. We're going to have this up as a Twitter poll. Like I mentioned, we'll We'll post the results, and then if you scroll down on that Twitter post, you'll see the poll, and on that poll is where you can vote. Let us know who should have been picked, who we missed out on, who you would have picked. Let us know. Again, we're always we're always racking our brains to try to find new drafts to bring out for you guys. So if you have a suggestion, please let us know. We got one from Tim Shaw a couple weeks back, and we did it right away on the next episode. So if you have a suggestion, let us know. It could be anything. It could be sport related, entertainment, music, food, drink. We'll make anything work, and we'd love to hear those suggestions and that you guys like what we do. Give us a like, subscribe. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We are the rest of the field. My name is Jason Gorman, Chris Weiler, Deke, and Ben Christensen. Again, there's our individual Twitter feeds, so you can shout us out individually. You can find us at rest_field, the rest of the field on Instagram. Find us, give us those likes, subscribe, follow, do all those things so that we know you're out there listening and what you like and you don't like. We appreciate every single one of you guys. Hopefully we'll have another draft coming this weekend, and hopefully Deke and his conspiracy bots out there don't just take over the rest of these drafts. But with that, enjoy the rest of the week. Deke, good luck with the rest of your potty training and your reach arounds.
Word.
Good luck, Dave.
Good luck.
With that, we are out.